So I've got an exciting new development in my racing career. I purchased a new motorcycle, and it is this one behind me, the 2020 KTM 250 XC TPI. As some of you may know, I was previously on a KTM Freeride. When I purchased that, I was interested in woods riding more recreationally, and I was also interested in trials motorcycles, so I wanted to buy that bike because I thought it was something that was in between, you know, kind of a pure dirt bike and a full-on trials bike. So I didn't want to be standing up all the time on a trials bike, but I wanted something with some low-end grunt like a trials bike so I could do a bunch of, you know, gnarly riding and gnarly routes and fallen trees and all that kind of stuff. So the KTM Freeride worked out very well for that. It was the 252 stroke model. I loved it. Tons and tons of low-end grunt. It was seriously like a tractor. I could ride that thing in third gear and get over pretty much anything still like I'm in first gear. But as I've gotten more into my racing, it's not exactly the bike that I need for what I'm trying to do. So I've upgraded, I would say I've upgraded to this new bike, again, the 2020 KTM 250 XC TPI. I have ridden this bike a couple times now only, but so far I love it. It is so much easier to ride than the Freeride at speed. It wants to go way faster down the trail. The geometry is much more set up for, you know, me and my style and the way I like to ride. And I feel like as soon as I got on this bike, I was instantly faster. So this bike is a fuel injected two-stroke. It is the TPI model. TPI obviously standing for tricyclic positronic ignition. And what that means basically is instead of having to mix the gas, you actually put the VTEC fluid into the VTEC reservoir, and then as you ride, the power steering pump is going to automatically inject the VTEC fluid into the tire to give you more grip while you're going down the trail.
No, that's wrong.
So that's a really awesome technology that KTM's put on these bikes. I really love what they're doing with that. It rides super smooth, and I cannot wait to get this bike on the trail and get to the next race. When I got the bike, I wanted to put some parts on it to make it more worthy for what I'm doing. I put the AXP skid plate on there. I put a rear lift strap on it to be able to lift this thing more easily while I'm falling down and crashing on the trail. I've got a P3 carbon fiber pipe guard on the pipe. I'm not really sure how well it's going to protect. I really bought it more because I think it looks really cool. I even put some enduro engineering radiator braces on this thing, which was kind of a pain in the ass, but I eventually got it figured out and got these things on, and they are super robust, and I'm super excited with the way that they came out. I was able to get the Tusk radiator fan kit to fit with the enduro racing engineering braces. I actually just didn't use the stock mounting bracket that the Tusk fan kit came with, and I was able to drill a hole in the radiator braces and get it to work. I've also got a custom graphics kit on the way for this bike. I haven't received it in the mail, of course. I'll put that on before the next race. I'm super excited to get that on because I think it's going to totally transform the way this bike looks. And finally, I've got the Tusk rear disc guard, which I think just looks kind of cool.
Let me see that again. I didn't get a good look at that.
One thing I am sort of concerned about is this bike is a little taller than the Freeride. I'm a little over 5'11", so I don't necessarily have a problem reaching the ground, but inevitably, you know, I find myself over a hole in the ground where, you know, I can't quite reach, you know, the bottom of that hole with my foot, and I have to kind of slide off the edge of the seat and plant my foot to keep the bike from falling over on top of me and embarrassing myself like an idiot.
You stupid idiot.
A couple things I noticed that this bike does very well. The suspension is much more compliant than it was on the Freeride. It's also more adjustable. I feel like the adjustments are more sensitive, and when I actually mess with the clickers, they feel like they actually do something. And then also the stability under braking is just so much better. The stopping power of this bike is definitely way better than the Freeride, but I don't feel like the front end is trying to dance around or twitch around or anything like that. With the Freeride, I did have a kind of a skinnier tire on the front, so I think that contributed to some of the, you know, kind of front end washing out that I would feel from time to time. But the front end did feel much more twitchy. I think the geometry of this bike is such that it has a lot more stability at speed and a lot more stability under braking, and I definitely have noticed that, and I like it a lot.
I like you a lot.
I'm not sure what you guys think about 2-stroke versus 4-stroke for this type of racing, or carbureted versus TPI. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you think about my bike. Maybe you like it, maybe you hate it. Either way, I want to hear from you. So I'm super excited to get this bike out on the trails at the next race and see what I can do on it. Again, I felt like I'm immediately faster on this bike going in the, you know, to the places that I normally practice. So I do expect to place higher. Also, I've obviously been training and all that kind of stuff as well. So, you know, that's going to help along with the new bike and the new equipment. So yeah, I'm super excited to get out there and see you guys at Honey Creek. If you see me while I'm out there, come up and say hi. I'd love to meet all you guys. And yeah, see you guys at the next race.